Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to Create Craft Costume. My name is Ashley, and today I will be showing you how to create your own customizable chocolate frog cards using the backdrop from the previous video. Now, as mentioned previously, I am actually doing this for a class unit on Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. So I am making one of these for all of my students, but don't limit it just because you may not be a teacher. I think these would make really great party favors or maybe thank you notes, or actually even as like a birthday gift or stocking stuffer. Who doesn't want to be on their own chocolate frog card? If you would like to see how I made these, please keep watching. So now I'm going to walk you through the steps that it will take to make one of these. Now, the very first part is actually getting the pictures. And yes, for anyone who's worried, I did get parental permission to share the photos that I am showing. And what I did is I knew I didn't want a chocolate card size that was like 8 by 10. I wanted it to be more realistic to the size of the cards, or maybe, I mean, I don't mind it a little bit bigger, but I definitely didn't want to use like a full sheet for a 4 by 6 photo. So what I did is I set up the backdrop and I took a picture of all of my students. Then I had these printed in wallet size. Now, it's a couple things that I found out about printing in wallet size at Walgreens. One, I was hoping you could switch out the photos on the sheet, and you can't. So you will get 4 photos of all of the people that you choose for a wallet size. The other thing that I found out that I was not anticipating is that wallet size is more expensive than your 4 by 6 photos. So luckily I had a coupon and it still made it worth it to me. And if you're not printing, 60 kids, it won't be as big of a budget sink. Once we have our photos ready, obviously I cut out the photo that I needed, but then I needed something to place it on. I put this on cardstock to make it sturdier. I did not want to hand cut these with scissors just because I just know that I wouldn't be as accurate. So what I did is, taking that cutout picture, I measured an accurate size that would fit with the picture. So instead of fitting the picture to the template, I fit the template to the picture. And this, I believe, is about 5 inches across, 5.5, something like that, across, meaning this way, not at the bottom. But all I did was I put this in my silhouette design and I measured until I thought it looked right, and then I had the silhouette cut all of these out for me. You could, of course, measure with a ruler and do it by hand. That is possible, which is why I'm giving it as a suggestion. I just didn't do it that way personally. Now, once you have your cutout or your back and your picture, obviously you're going to adhere it in whatever method you choose. I actually just used a glue stick. And now comes the really fun part. It can be time consuming depending on what you choose, but it is also fun. I really wanted to make sure that I had a gold border. I knew I wasn't going to be able to get like the exact fancy ornate design, but I wanted the students to easily recognize what I was handing them. So I went and found some gold washi tape. This happened to come from Michael's. However, I know you can find them at other craft stores, even including Walmart, if you're lucky. But I got a roll of washi tape, and all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn this on its back. You can see where I've already cut one because there's an angle. I'm gonna turn our card over, and I'm gonna line this up with a straight line, and I pull this really out. And I do like lining it up with my grid, try and make it line up, so try and get it as straight as possible. And then I press it down and I will cut right up the side. Once that is on, I fold this over. And there is our first golden edge. So now I need to do this on the other 4 sides to make this a finished chocolate frog card. Now, something that I keep doing just to make sure that I don't waste a lot of tape, but also just to make sure that it's easier to cut, is notice how I am rotating what side the edge of the washi tape is. And that's because I can get this edge to line up right here. So then when I press it flat, I'm just cutting that new beveled edge, and I don't have to fight with how it's going to look like if I don't line up the edges properly. So see, now I'm going to turn it back here, and I'm going to make sure the edge goes off this way. And here's what it looks like all golded on the edges. Something I forgot to mention is make sure when you are placing your photo, you actually place it a little bit closer to the top. And the reason is because I want to put their names right here. That's why you may have noticed it wasn't exactly centered in the middle. If you do that, you don't give as much room to leave the student or the party goer's name. Now, I will say that washi tape is not the best at sticking. You may have seen where some of the edges are going to start coming up. So something that I would highly recommend is I actually went on the back and I put just a little bit of Scotch tape right here. And the reason is because I'm just working on the front of the card. I'm not going to have them right on the back, because when you display it, like if they were to hang this on a bulletin board or something, you're really only going to look at the front anyway. The other bonus that you may have as a teacher is you can laminate them or something like that, so that all of the embellishments will stay really, really crisp and flat. If you don't, you may want to run a different type of adhesive or more tape on the back or something, because this washi tape is not going to stay by itself. I do also recognize that there is another option. You could, of course, come with a gold paint or a gold pen, but I'm not gonna lie, you cannot beat the shine. And I particularly love the texture of this washi tape. So yes, there are a few extra steps. Yes, it's a little tedious, but especially if you're not doing that many, this really, really adds some extra embellishment and extra bling to the cards. Now, once this has its edges, you can start putting on the names. I know that vinyl's an option. I know that it is, especially because I said I have a cutting machine. With that being said, I did have 60 students. And while I am willing to do the washi tape edges, I was not willing to type out and weed every single one of their names. That was just too much work for me. So luckily, I have a teacher friend who was very willing to help write these out. And we actually used this same gold pen. And this is also from Dollar Tree. So the cardstock was from Tuesday Morning. The washi tape was from Michael's. This was from Dollar Tree. And here are what they look like with their names written. You can use stickers, you can use a vinyl cutting machine, but if you're really, really lucky and have someone who can write this out nice enough, I do think that that is an awesome option, just because the rest of this took a little more time. And here's an excellent example of what I mean by the washi tape is struggling to stay. You can see that it's lifted right here. So again, we're putting these through a laminator, so I'm not as concerned about it, but I did just take some clear tape and mark it on the back just to make sure that it didn't entirely fall off before I get it in the laminator. But if you're not putting it through a laminator, I would highly, highly recommend adding a stronger adhesive on the edges before you place your washi tape down. While these do look good, I'm super excited about these. I have a couple more ideas because they look just a little bit plain compared to the movie Chocolate Frog cards. So if I was not putting this through a laminator, I would actually probably put like embellished, meaning 3D gold embellishments on here. Like you can find those dots at Dollar Tree or something like that. But since this is going through a laminator, I need to make sure that these are flat. Whatever comes on here needs to be flat to be able to go through it. I found these different sized gold stars. So I'm just gonna add some gold stars in random patterns on these just to kind of spruce it up and make it a little bit fancier. And the other thing that I particularly liked about these gold stars is that they match the edge of the washi tape. Now, I know you can find gold stars at like the Dollar Tree. I couldn't find them at the time, so these actually came off of Amazon, and I'll leave that link below if anyone is interested. I'm not going to make them equal on every side, especially because I want to make sure that I have enough for everybody. Now, as I mentioned, I did laminate these, so I did want to show what happens if you are not paying attention to the tape and it's not quite down enough. So this is what happened the first time going through the lamination machine. Now, as I said, luckily there was 4 pictures, so I kept this one and he got one that looked perfect. So for my last couple, I did actually run some glue, so just plain old glue stick right here, and I would highly recommend doing that just to make this more stable. It made the process a lot easier. And there you have it. Once you have embellished it to your liking, they are ready for your recipient. You can frame it, you can give it to the recipient on their door, you can surprise them in the stocking. I just think this is a super fun display piece for any Harry Potter fan. I actually cannot wait to give these to my students. I'm not giving them until we hit the Chocolate Frog chapter, but I hope they're as excited about these as I am. They came out almost exactly as I wanted. And I know that another option is finding someone to digitally design them, but since I never looked at it, I genuinely don't know how much that would cost, and I just really like the homemade aspect of it. As I said, I'm thrilled with how this turned out, and I had very few students that didn't want to take these home, so I would consider that a success. If you like how these look, please give this video a thumbs up. If you would make these or have an idea of how you would improve these, please let me know in the comments down below. As always, please don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. It really does help us grow. And please share this with any Harry Potter fans of your own. I will see you in my next video. Bye!